Let's talk to Connor Campbell. He's a financial analyst at Spreadex. Very good morning to you, Connor. Right, let's talk about cable and Dow in this segment. Let's kick off with the great British pound against the US dollar. What are the highlights? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's still sort of bouncing between that 139, 1.4 mark. It's sort of every time it sort of ventures above 1.4, it'll spend a few hours there, but it just hasn't had the gumption to sort of make a breakout above those levels. However, from our clients' perspective, they're still, whenever it dips below that level, they're still supporting it around them. In terms of what's going on this week, there's a lot really for it to deal with. You've got the US GDP figure on Wednesday. I think that's expected to fall from 2.6% to 2.5% at the annualised rate. That's the second estimate of the fourth quarter figure. So obviously that plays into the pound's hands. Yep. You've got the UK manufacturing and construction PMIs on Thursday and Friday. I think the manufacturing PMI is expected to fall, but with a rise in construction. However, analyst estimates for those PMIs have been off base for a while now, so I think those are really going to be in terms of what happens on the morning in terms of the reaction. In terms of the real big things, though, you've got two testimonies from Jerome Powell, the new head of the Fed. I think in terms of market-wide as well, what kind of tone he strikes with these two appearances this week is going to be key for how everything does. We've had the fear of interest rates rising has been the key driver in February. Will he spark another bout of worry just before February ends, or will his tone be a bit more conciliatory? Will it reassure the market somewhat and allow sort of the fragile but still there, like sort of gentle recovery that's been going on in the last few sessions to continue? Then key really for the pound, I think, is on Friday, Theresa May's Brexit speech. I think in terms of, obviously, this could well go down and be a complete damp squib, not a lot of detail, but even then, a lack of detail will be telling, and a lack of detail, I think, will weigh on the pound and drag it lower. But like I said, our clients still supportive of the pound buying whenever it dips back below 1.40.
Okay, so let's move on to the Dow Jones. Key events, you've mentioned the GDP on Wednesday and Jerome Powell's testimony on Tuesday and Thursday. It's extraordinary that we had this aggressive sell-off. Okay, we've had some sort of rebound. The million-dollar question is, where does this rebound sort of stop?
Yeah, it's interesting, really. I think since this chart was taken, it's pushed up a bit further. I think it's now around 25,700. What is interesting, that's sort of the midpoint, really, between, I think that's around 1,200, 1,400 points off of the low struck at the start of February, and around 1,000 points off of the all-time highs at the end of February. So it's in the middle of those two places now. So like you said, it's a key period for the Dow now to see which way it turns. From our clients' perspective, they're a bit wary of it at the moment. I think they've seen it's had a decent run in the second half of February, and I think they're looking for something to knock it back a bit. And as it was approaching 25,500, we saw our clients start to sell quite aggressively. There were a few buyers, but they were quite aggressive in selling around that 25,500 mark. Obviously, throughout 2017, the Dow Jones was a tricky one because people kept calling the end of its run, and it kept going, basically all the way until the end of January. I think, like I said, in terms of cable, the key driver could be for the Dow Jones what Jerome Powell says on Tuesday, on Thursday. It could be, he might not want to ruffle too many feathers given that it's sort of his first month in charge. So he might not want to make anything too declamatory about what is going to happen with the Fed in the rest of 2018. But investors are going to be sort of, poring over what he says for any signs of, is the hawkish fears justified? And things like that. But like I said, our clients sort of selling around the 25,500 mark and above, perhaps in anticipation of Powell's testimonies on Tuesday and Thursday.
On that note, Connor, thank you very much indeed.